Hey guys, DJ Banski here, coming at you from the Pacific Northwest, and I'm here to talk about life is fleeting. So life is short. I mean, why do people keep saying that? Well, you don't know when you're going to expire. You don't know when, you're going to get that chance or opportunity to get this and this done, or your project's done, or start that business, or anything like that. So why not do it now? Some things that were kind of a wake-up call for me when it came to realizing that life was so short was when two really close family members died. Within, I would say probably within about a year or two apart or so. The first one was my aunt, and I've gotten to know her quite a long time. She was diagnosed with cancer. She was more of a family friend. I call her my aunt because she was one of those aunts that you could just hang out and talk with. She was really like another friend, honestly. Again, a family friend. I called her my aunt. And she was diagnosed with cancer, and she died pretty suddenly, at least in my time and frame of mind, just because I knew her when I was 16, and then would run into her, quite a few times throughout my adulthood, and just kind of like bounce back and be able to like talk with her about all the different things that I was going through. And for me, it was just really sudden when she had passed. Again, it was kind of like a weird impact because, again, I only saw her, those random times, but like those times I cherished with her. It was just one of those things we would talk for hours and kind of thing. It really didn't occur to me that death could happen to me in that aspect. Which brings me to my grandfather. So when my grandfather was diagnosed, it was really sudden. They caught it at a very late stage in what could have been treated, and he ended up being home in hospice. And so it was it was really devastating to watch him and his life just kind of like trickle away from him. Sorry, I'm getting a little choked up about this because my grandfather, on my mom's side, we were just really close. I would go there every day after school. He would drive me to, my first day of kindergarten, first day of school sometimes. He would pick me up from the bus stop. We would go out and have ice cream at Dairy Queen, which was really close by, just a few roads down. We would go on bike rides during the summertime and go around all around our hometown. It was really hard in those last few days to see him just in kind of like a comatose state, just laying there waiting for that death. But it was kind of at the same time really relieving to see that he had all his family and friends around him. And I could only imagine what he was thinking and things like that. Like, for me, looking on the outside and seeing that happening, it was just kind of like, wow, he left a great foundation for our family from the Philippines. He came here when he was fairly young. At the time, he had just married my grandma. So he came over, and set up in Hawaii, things like that. And then a few years later brought my grandma over with all of my aunts and uncles. And it was really cool, like being able to lay that foundation. Like, America became that place of opportunity for him to start whatever he wanted. And I want, that was something that kind of like embedded inside of me, especially since death was not happening to me, but definitely happening to someone that I loved, and knew that I wanted something more for him, and knew I wanted something more for myself and what to leave behind. And death, I suppose, is one of those like realization things for me. It's only happened maybe twice that I've gotten to like really near-death experiences. When I was younger, I was quadding in our backyard, and yes, motorcycles, four-wheelers. We were going in the backyard and heading up one of the trails, and one of my cousins had stopped abruptly on the path, and I ended up flipping the quad over myself. Thankfully, like, I didn't get crushed by it on my legs or anything like that, or on my body, but it was really close. And Like, I literally could have died in that moment because of how fast we were going. I'm glad that I wore my padding and my helmet, things like that. I did have a few bruises, cuts, and things like that, but it wasn't like anything super serious. But again, it was just like by a blink of an eye, I could have been smashed by my quad. Like, in those experiences, like looking back on it, I'm just like, wow, what was I thinking? You know, kind of thing. And but it was so surreal. Like, I didn't realize it was happening and how quickly it could happen. The other sort of like near-death experience, Mom is probably finding about this right now, but basically my friends and I were floating a nearby river, you know, on tubes, and we had our bathing suits on and our life vests on. Well, I had recently taken off my life vest because it was too warm, it was really hot outside, and so we ended up floating about 5 hours or so. We go around this bend on the river and we hit a snag of branches and trees that had fallen, and my tube, honestly, it was a really fast turn, and again, it was like one of those surreal things that was happening slowly but not fast enough for me to react to like swim away from my tube, and it ended up popping. I just remember going underneath the water and the rope was tied around my ankle, and with that log jam, like honestly, like I went underwater quite a few times, and thankfully my friends came and got me. One of my friends was holding my head up while the other one was trying to get the rope from underneath my legs and like get it undone. And again, looking back on it, it was just such a flash. I didn't see my life flash before my eyes. I just saw like white and streams of water and then the sky, and it was just one of those like surreal moments like in a movie that I could have drowned. So it was just kind of those moments that you're like, what were you thinking? What were you doing? Like, why didn't you think of this through thoroughly? And again, what did I want to do? It was shortly after those experiences and after my grandfather passing that I realized, what was I doing with my life? What did I want to leave behind for the next generation, or say my kids if I end up having them, or maybe even a person I'm talking to right now? Like, what would I want to leave behind? I guess the only real advice that I could give to anyone on the edge of wanting to start something, a business, a blog, a YouTube channel, or any of those things, is to just do it. You know, you never know what tomorrow will bring. And with those specific events that had happened in my life, I was just like, you know what? I could die in a car crash later. I could do this. I could do that. I could, you know, have a brain aneurysm, which is super random, but like those things could happen. And what would I want to leave behind that will make an impact, that can help somebody else, that I can share experience with, or even just connect with? And this is it. My blog, my YouTube channel, things like that. This is what I wanted to leave behind. But anyways, I hope you guys have a great and wonderful day. Sorry it was a little depressing there, but next week the week after, I guess, will be a better blog for you. I hope you guys have a great day, and hey, keep kicking and smiling, keep moving forward, and do it. Just do it. If you guys haven't already, I have links down below to my social medias and my Patreon page, and yeah, check out my blog. I have all sorts of fun stuff on there as well. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you later. TJ Banski out.